Greetings, residents of Spunk Goldman's home for the soon-to-be deceased. Welcome to date night. For your listening pleasure, we now present to you our own resident here at Spunk Goldman's home for the soon-to-be deceased, Cedric Silk.
You know, there's a lot of covers out there. A lot of love and a lot of imagery. But there's just one question I gotta ask you, baby. One thing I gotta know. Deep down in my cover soul. Oh, do you like records? Do you like books? Well, they all got a cover, baby, and that's the way it looks. Judge a book by its cover. That's the way it goes. And if you don't like this podcast, well, baby, your opinion blows. 'Cause it's cover decoder. I'm a cover decoder, baby. It's cover decoder. I'm a cover decoder, yeah.
Welcome back. Once again, Cover Junkies. This is the show where we lift up the skirt of the cover world and we eat away at the cotton candy panties to reveal the steamy fruits hidden beneath. That's right, folks. And if Cedric Silk didn't inspire you there, because I know he inspired me, then this episode surely will. So this comes with...
I have a question.
Yeah, of course.
I have a question about cotton candy panties.
Oh, they're all the rage right now. It's a big thing. It's a big deal.
I'm assuming when you put those on, you don't sit down in them.
Why not?
Because then there's like a whole section of area you're not going to want to eat.
No,
if
it's
you sit
fine.
down too long.
The moisture is part of the love.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
bro. Yeah, if you're devoted enough,
It soaks up the flavor
eat
of
those
your partner.
satin panties. Yeah.
That's right. You're getting the true essence of your lover woven
You're
in the cotton.
The cover decoders
okay.
know that not all movies or not all love and encounters are like those shown on covers and movies. Sometimes you got to eat the dirty part of the panty, son.
That's right.
Your eyes just go completely black like a shark's, and you get in there.
It's a loving buffet.
It's it's love instinct.
Drop the pants. It's time for lunch. Well, like I said, this comes with a steam alert.
Steam.
Hot, very warm steam alert.
Ooh,
Because
very hot, very warm.
30-degree burns, very warm. You better have your Ink's signature hot bag, your stiff jeans, your lip-biting garb, and just cross your legs and get ready to grip those sheets because we are going full in on some cover lovin', folks.
That's right.
And if you're wondering why we didn't do this in February, it is because we are doing Fantasy February next month.
Fantasy February.
Fantasy February, and honestly,
Hashtag
Valentine's Day comes second to Swords and Quests. So that's the reason why.
Or you can combine the two. Take your loved one on a quest for Valentine's.
You know what? You're right.
Better way to build a relationship than to go and find treasure or rescue something or just take over a whole country. We got to say, if you want to see these slides, you can follow along. You just got to go to our website. You go to the episode, you see the show notes, boom, Linkosaurus Rex to the slides. Then you can latch your eyes onto all the beautiful covers you see today. And I'm Inks. The beautiful voice you just heard is Tapes, and the lover and a fighter that we all love and know is Bringineer.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Anyway, folks, we have an awesome episode full of delicious morsels and delights for you. So what I'm going to do for you is give you the first slide of our presentation, flip, and what you're going to see is bam, 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 bum, 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 bum. More than a phoenix, more than a phoenix. I like to do pottery, more than a phoenix. I'm not just a boner, more than a phoenix. Please don't write me in a box. That's right.
Woo!
So, what we have here, folks, is...
This didn't even come off like a good grocery store, newspaper rack. It came off of like a Winco.
Oh man, this is when
newsstand.
Soak it in.
You go to the store.
Soak it
that
in
has
like all the flavor in those panties, boys. But before we get in there, we got to talk about this. So this is More Than a Phoenix by Ashlyn Chase. It is the second book in a trilogy of Lovin.
This is a trilogy?
A trilogy of Lovin.
Shit.
Yes.
What do romance novels have to do with trilogies?
Dude, this is the Lord of the Rings of romance, okay? So the first novel is Hooked on a Phoenix. This is the second novel, More Than a Phoenix. And the last one is A Phoenix is Forever. So if that doesn't tingle your ball hairs, then I don't know what will.
Hooked on a
Because this
Phoenix?
is a spicy.
What's the
Hooked
last
on
one?
Hooked. A Phoenix is Forever. So... Yeah, so I have to give you, before we get in, because this is important. So the cover, folks, is, as we're going to find out, is perfectly displayed for this novel. It's targeted for this novel. So let me give you the synopsis of this here book. What do you get when you take two Phoenix shifter brothers, throw in one powerful witch and one monkey shifter? Mallory Summers is losing it. She's discovered she can talk to dead people, and she might be able to shift to monkey form. Firefighter Dante Fierro knows the quirky beauty isn't crazy, just supernatural. But what would she think if she knew his secret? Hothead Noah Fierro has his own sparks flying with gorgeous ER doctor Kizzy Samuels. While attraction is mutual, so are the supernatural secrets. With this much sizzle going on, how do you not get burned? Fighting fires is easy. Finding love, that's the hard part.
Oh
These are definitely next to the charcuterie case in the grocery store by the bologna and the peppered turkey.
Well, dude, if you're going to do it right, you're going to have your candles, you're going to have your shag blanket, and you're going to have a charcuterie plate, Because what's better than laying down, getting it on, and being full of nitrate farts? That's the perfect way to start a romantic evening.
Listen, if you feel like you don't have a place for your art, that your art is too weird for the public, that you don't want to share your gift with the world, just know that there is an audience out there. There is an audience out there for you.
There is someone there who wants your stuff.
Yes, and if you can't tell, folks, this is that delicious enchilada that Inks talks about sometimes with hamburgers and tacos and General Tso's.
The hamburger taco lasagna.
Did you say General Tso's?
General Tso's.
The general.
Throw it in the enchilada. That's a Lovin' enchilada, folks. She has thrown every supernatural random creature she can think of and added the Jersey Shore flair with sexy firefighters.
So this man, he's a phoenix.
He's a phoenix. And real quick, she is the author of several trilogies. One thing I like about her repertoire of novels is they're all in trilogies.
Do that.
She has a series, I'll just give you 3 of her other books, called The Boston Dragons. The Boston Dragons, bro.
The Boston Dragons, bro. Hey, bro.
She's got I Dream of Dragons, My Wild Irish Dragon, and Never Dare a Dragon. Because one thing you can count on, folks, and you're probably asking yourself by now, why did I pick this? Why?
I'm wondering, why did you pick this?
I picked it because it was so absurd. And here's the thing. A lot of romance novels have the covers are kind of a wash, honestly. And honestly,
the covers have their own style. They are a genre unto themselves.
but they all kind of look the same is the problem.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
true.
best covers are the Hot Scott Highland covers. Those are the best ones.
Yes.
They're the
And
most
he's
laughable.
My mother used to call them bodice rippers because the guy always had his shirt ripped open or the woman's shirt's ripped open, the cleavage is popping out and her leg in the garter's showing.
I'm gonna take your haggis in my hand.
Whoa, you're looking so fine.
I'm gonna play your bagpipes all night long.
We can get you a new bodice.
Take a look at me wee leprechaun. I mean me massive Loch Ness.
Well, you go the wrong
So-
voice if you want to do that one.
The reason I picked this was because this is pretty Tapesian in its style.
Because
the
it goes-
synopsis is absolutely bonkers. It makes no sense. She just picked as many weird things as she could, supernatural things to throw in
Yeah.
here, plus hot firefighters. It's a hot
Yeah.
mess, and I love it. You can't go wrong with some sexy hot firefighters. You can't go
No.
wrong with that.
No,
So-
it's classic.
And the title, of course, is what grabbed me too. Because as soon as I saw More Than a Phoenix, Boston, because that's the other draw about
Boston Dragons.
the
one,
Boston
yeah.
theme song popped right into my head. I had that
Yeah.
the minute I picked this up out of the crinkled library section that I found it in the deepest, darkest library corner of Mordor.
bro.
But yeah, and More
do
Than
you
a Phoenix,
name the greatest
that's
band of all time?
what could be more than a Phoenix?
Yeah.
What could be Dante Fierro is more than a Phoenix.
Yeah.
These books, you like these because they're like those wizard books you like.
Wizard.
Dresden
the
Wishes.
Dresden Files.
This is
Dresden
no
Wishes.
different.
Go
He
check out
wishes he was
Dresden.
this
No
ripped.
different.
No, it's totally
No
different.
from your Dresden books. No, these are the exact same thing.
That's
Just
that's
these
the
guys
problem.
are hot and they don't have that stupid floppy hat.
It's different
Okay,
because
hold on.
Dresden has a chunk of ham hanging off of his stomach and doesn't look like he's been working out for the last 2 years
Yeah,
of his
take
life.
this guy
Well, you
and
know
roll
all
him
these
in
guys
dog
are
shit a
doing-
little bit, and then you'll get Dresden. Beautiful
Okay,
face.
so
These
beautiful
guys are all
physique.
they all do porn on their off time, right?
look at his face. He's smirking. He's like, yeah,
yeah.
I do porn. So what?
Yeah, bro.
This guy, I got,
You know
I
you've
got
seen
a
it.
photo shoot, I got a
I
porn.
got,
you've
I
seen
got
it.
two different types of Bowflex in my bedroom. Well, real quick, folks. Season one of our first Skype episodes we did was about the Dresden Files, which is a great book series and perfect for especially the winter months or any months. But they have awful covers that look very close to More Than a Phoenix. So
Yes.
if you want to learn more
And-
about that, go listen to that episode. But
And
Yeah.
that'll be a good episode, folks, because I'm actually going to circle back to that at the end. But before we go on, you guys have given some flavor. Give us the complete lowdown on More Than a Phoenix. Tell me what you're looking at.
okay, yeah, we need to describe this.
Yes.
I'm gonna let Bringineer get on there.
All right, so color palette.
Jump on that like a lion in heat.
We got a blue color palette here, and in the background,
I
we've
like the
got
blue.
a
The color
city
palette's great.
on fire. There are several buildings now. The fire looks like it's in the shape of kind of maybe a bird, like Phoenix kind of deal.
Yeah, or it's got that
It's-
Die Hard
It's
one
yeah,
level.
it's copying that Batman thing. Didn't Batman do that?
Yeah,
Maybe
and Hans
Yeah,
Gruber
Batman.
is in one of those buildings.
Yeah. So anyway, we got this burning building, and then this hunk, this hunkalicious man. He's got just
He makes me want to read it.
his nipple is in a very strange place. It's
Yeah.
like not quite where a nipple should be. It's on the side.
No, it's
It's the
perfectly
side
lined up
of
in the
his-
center.
of his man breast. So it's like the person doing the photo was like, man, I really want to see his nipple, and so
I
they
just moved it over.
they just moved it over somehow.
No, it's because while he was doing this, he couldn't help but
cybernetic organism
subconsciously
with
make
flesh
his
on it.
muscle do that thing where it lifts up and down. So
Oh,
his
that's
nipple
right,
just
yeah.
kept
he's
moving.
flexing. Yeah,
He's flexing his
Now-
nips.
either that or he's a
This
cybernetic
guy-
organism.
This guy's smirking and looking out of the cover right into you, and as if to say, "Hey, baby, you know you want to see what's inside of here.
That's right.
Come on in, open my pages."
He's
And,
smirking because he's like, your wife is going to be thinking of me tonight.
Yeah, I'm ready to spread my fucking wings.
And he's kind of got a flex going on, and he's got a real bro, like 2000s.
Oh yeah, bro. This is Dante Fierro, okay?
Yeah, brother.
Dante Fierro, he
Yeah,
fights
brother.
fires
Come
and he
on now.
fights underwear
Yeah, his name's fucking Deontay.
because they don't belong on there. They belong
Have you
on the
ever met
ground
an ugly
next
Dante?
to me.
Come on.
Never.
Clearly, this thing
Never, bro.
represents my mom was going through a hard time, and so I got her this phoenix because she got over it, and like she was rising from the ashes.
Yeah.
It's like really important to me.
Yeah.
No, dude, that's like the sign of his creed.
That's when she got the phoenix tattoo on her lower back.
That's right.
I just
And all
wanted
the
you to
cool
feel at
uncles
home
started showing
when
up.
you're nesting inside of me.
Yeah.
and then the font is just really boring. Just really boring.
You know what? I actually got to say, I think the Fire and the Phoenix was a good move there. It was a good play.
but it's just a font. I mean, they stuck some fire in the Phoenix. That's kind of an obvious choice there. And then the tagline reads, "Hot and hilarious. This one is a must read."
Which is really not a
Hot-larious.
great. That's kind of just like a thumbs
Yeah.
up. That's like, good job. This is
Yeah.
you're gonna like this on your plane ride.
You did a thing.
Yeah.
I will say, it is a good composition. I have seen.
Yeah.
I have looked at a lot of romance novels, folks, and there are really bad. In fact, the whole trilogy, even though it is, it's romance novels, right? But they have consistency, which I really like. That's the one thing that's hooked me on the Dresden File books is they're consistent. They're not great. I don't love them, but they're
They're
consistent.
consistently mediocre. How's
They're
that a good
consistently
thing?
mediocre. That's, yeah.
How's that a good thing?
They are the Nicolas Cage of the cover world.
Oh, dude, you're so right. These are Nicolas Cage covers.
It's like, I know what I need to do. I just get up there, do my little smile,
Make my money.
and it's gonna sell a lot of books.
I sense a fire. I need to put it out in your bedroom.
Emotion.
Bitches! Yes, well,
Why peaches?
like we've talked about, as the boys have described, it's a snack. It's something you eat. It's not nourishing, but
This is junk food.
Yeah,
Right,
it fills
right.
you up.
It's a Snickers
and
bar.
and as I said, I don't love these covers. I wouldn't even necessarily say that I like these covers. I do think they're fun. Like when
They
I
do
look
their
at
job.
them, yeah, I kind of get a chuckle, and
Do
I
I-
think that's part of the hook of a romance
Yeah.
novel.
Yeah, sometimes you need stuff to just do their job. Do I like the way my ass looks in Carhartt coveralls? No. But
I'm gonna
does it
squeeze
fucking
it in
keep me
there.
safe when I'm out on the job, bro?
I'm gonna
Fuck yeah.
ziplock it
Fuck
like
yeah,
Boris
brother.
Vallejo.
Yeah.
Right in there, sealing the flavored juices while I'm fighting
Yeah.
those fires.
There's a lot of ham behind that box-shaped carapace there.
That's right. However, what I do love and absolutely respect the hell out of is the fact that Aletta Rafton, who is the creator of this cover, bestowed on us a Q&A interview, folks.
Oh, thank you,
Oh,
Aletta.
it's great.
Yes.
I'm sorry
so
for talking
huge-
shit on your guy here.
A huge thanks to this cover Valkyrie for giving us some great insight into the sultry cover world of romance
Valkyrie.
novels. And we're going to get a Q&A because I had sort of an eye-opening moment after going through this whole... I know it sounds cheesy, but it's cheesy like this cover in the fact that I feel good after it. So we'll talk about it after, but let's go ahead and do the Q&A interview. I believe Mr. Brengineer will be playing the part of Aletta this evening. Yes. So here we go. Miss Rafton, it's only right that we kick things off with a little background information. From your bio, I gathered you used to paint in oils, like many of the masters, and moved on to more digital art. Did you go to school for art? If so, did you always want to be a cover artist? Are there any cover artists / covers that come to mind that inspire you or have stuck with you through the years?
I graduated from UC Berkeley with a Bachelor in Fine Art degree. And then I studied commercial art in Boston and at the Academy of Art in San Francisco. I loved painting people and wanted to make a living doing that. After researching a little, I discovered creating paperback book covers would probably be my best source of income. I'm still a fan of many traditional artists, including the Orientalists like Godward, Leighton, Jerome, and most 19th century realist painters. Cover artists I admire are Pino, Elaine Dulio, and Jean-Paul.
Right out the gate, folks, this amazing human being has some experience. She's not screwing around with the paints. She knows what she's doing. And if you go to her website, which we do have a link to, you can see some of her other pieces, which are they're more or less the same. They are digital paintings. We don't love digital painting, but we can respect it. It still takes talent. It still takes a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a tool.
It is a tool.
It's a brush to paint with, and just like you can get caught up in a lot of bad habits or moves just with using a pencil, same thing can happen with digital as well.
How did you get into digital art? Was it the way the industry was changing, or was it for the benefit of the art or saving time perhaps?
The industry changed rapidly, and it was a matter of adapt or die. So I took classes in digital art and changed the way I work. I've actually grown to love working digitally. There's no messy oil paint getting on my hands, face, hair, clothes, etc.
So this is where my respect starts to ramp up a lot, and we get an insight into the world that she's kind of living in, and a lot of people lived in, and why they moved. Because it's true, and even if you look at book covers today, they are mostly digital. And you have to, you have to decide what you're going to do. And you can try and stick with the oils and forge a path that way, but you have to really, really go at it hard if you're going to do that. And,
I like the mess. I like the mess of working with brushes and paints. I mean, it's more expensive.
It takes more time.
I mean, yeah, you can just go buy some software and you can be making some pretty cool stuff like right away with some classes. But I don't know, there's something about sitting in front of your canvas or your board and just going at it.
I agree with you. And the reason why I'll never be able to say that this type of art has my full appreciation is because you can tell too. For me, I like to see that the artist has taken the time, and I'm not saying that digital artists don't take the time, but you can't tell. You know what I mean? It's hard to see how many hours and how much work and see those little scrubs. But what I love is the fact that she wanted to do this. Well, she wanted to make art her life and not just make it a hobby and a side job. And that's what she's doing, folks.
Right.
She is working in the industry. And when you want to work sometimes in an industry, you have to change. And she changed, and she went for it. And I respect the hell out of that.
I have to talk shop just for a second here. I do a lot of digital work. And the programs that are coming out now are really great. Like, you can get some stuff. The hard transition for me was I like the mess as well. I like when you put down watercolor or paint, and sometimes it does things that you don't expect it to. It creates this lived-in kind of, like, you can see that it took care. And I use a program called Clip Studio Paint. It's a Japanese program. It was originally done for like manga, but now it's becoming really popular. And one of their things that I love to do, if you guys look at our cover art for the show, I use a lot of the watercolor pins and brushes in that program. And it
inside
looks
tips, folks.
pretty,
inside tips.
Yeah, inside tips, bro. It looks pretty realistic. And I will say that the digital world is catching up with the physical world. And I have to agree with her, too. I mean, I live in a small apartment, and not having canvases and stuff everywhere, sometimes I just want to, like, sit down for a minute and bang out a sketch or something like that. And, like, again, the other advantage of having the digital art, especially for sketches, is, like, I have the sketch. It's there. It's saved to the file. I don't have to go flipping through. I have boxes
imagine you
full
got
of
10,
sketchbooks.
15, 20, 30 projects lined up behind you.
Holy smokes. There is a big advantage to it. And like I said, I could see, it's happening now with stuff like Procreate, which is a great program that looks very realistic. Where the line is beginning to blur between physical. But that all being said, there is something special about the physical world.
That's right. Let's dig into this cover a bit. More Than a Phoenix came out in 2018 and was released by Sourcebook. I notice it says the cover and internal design were done by Sourcebook. How does getting a commission for a book like this work? Does the client have an idea or images they want used, and then you put the elements together, or do you get a rough idea and just roll with it?
The client generally has a strong idea of what they're looking for, sometimes including photos, color palettes, and background images. Wow. Occasionally, they are open to my ideas.
So what do we read from that? What do we get in this little taste of a world where it's kind of a machine? It's kind of a cover machine.
Yeah, I mean they've already got color palettes chosen. That's pretty serious.
Yeah, I mean they already have items. Like why don't they just throw everything into Photoshop and do the work? Why do they even need to outsource someone to do that?
Because it still takes a level of skill.
Yeah.
Well, the easiest thing to do is if you already have the elements, is just to stick them on different layers and blend them in there,
And I have seen some covers where clearly they got, Milton in the next cubicle to design the cover. And
yeah, last
it
minute.
is unforgivable art. It is so bad that it like you throw it in the garbage. You wipe your ass with it. That's how bad it is.
I've seen bad ones. Like clearly, Aletta is definitely higher up for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely a craftsmanship
as far as
behind
quality.
it.
Yeah. So, do you remember putting this piece together? It looks like a composite to my eyes. Do you have a bank of reference photos you used to put a cover together like this? Do you remember having any roadblocks in its design? Was there anything you tried, and were you proud of the final product?
Yes. It was a composite of several photos. I used paid stock photography sources for all the images.
So not a full amount of insight in there. I mean, this was done in 2018. She's probably hammered out quite a few before this, but there's probably not a whole lot really to it. I mean, they tell her what they want. She probably has her models that she uses, and because she's got that Boston background, she picks the perfect Boston bros.
Yeah.
Like these
she knows
guys,
exactly
man.
what a dragon looks like, pal.
Oh, dude. They spend the time at Oisteen's. Okay. They're at the Clodhopper, drinking beers.
Yeah, brother. They know exactly what to look for.
Oisteen's is not in Boston.
Oisteen's
is in the Milk Valley. Okay?
Oh, that's true.
That
That's
Milk
true.
Valley's got that Boston flavor.
It
Like
does.
if you were
There's
from
some
Boston
nights.
and you went to the Milk Valley, you'd feel right at home, brother.
You feel right at home, brother.
Wicked at home.
So yeah, she takes these images, she puts them together, and she probably does digital touching to them, and that's probably about it. I would say she
flame.
probably
Lots of
doesn't.
digital touching.
There's some digital touching. I have to believe the Phoenix she probably put
Great
on there
album.
herself. That model probably didn't have that Phoenix tat. She probably put that on there.
Yeah.
And that's a really good touch. It blends in really well with his skin tones. So she's definitely has her hands in there.
He probably
has
has one now after he saw this cover.
Oh yeah, bro.
Like, I look good with that.
Yeah, bro. Look at that Phoenix.
The dudes at the gym are going to think my Phoenix is so rad.
Listen, bro, I'm more than a Phoenix, okay?
Yeah, more than a Phoenix, brother. Yeah.
So now that we have a little information, I'm going to be honest. I don't much care for romance novels. I understand the appeal, and I can respect the escape, but it's just not my thing. I think one of the reasons I don't care much for romance novels is the covers. To me, the art often seems so rushed. I say this with no disrespect, but the cover for a romance novel, is it given much thought? Does the publisher just want something passable? Something that says, this is a sexy book about?
I can understand your sentiment. I think the quality of romance covers has declined a lot in recent years. They have become commoditized, where people will create one for under $100. So the result is that the artistry and quality are sacrificed for price. $100.
Holy crap, folks. $100. So, okay.
Bill.
Can you imagine, like, if you're not, so Aletta's got to be established, because if you're not established, it's got to be a shark fest out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say
People just under $100
Pump that out in half a day. That's
what I'm talking.
You can't spend more than like 5 hours on that, or you're not really making much.
But that's
Well, no,
where
at
you
this
get
point-
respect for this stuff, though, because the thing is, let's say she pumped this out for $100. This is a good cover for $100, folks. This is like,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
I have no doubt they probably have pre-set up templates for the book covers. They just drop in their elements, a little Gaussian blur here, a little,
But you think about it.
touch up here, and they're done.
If you're working for yourself, you have to pay that extra 15% income tax. You have to pay that yourself that your employer doesn't pay, and then she probably has to have the monthly fee for fucking Photoshop, Adobe overlords, and then after that, you really need to get this done in less than half a day.
The cover love is starting to drip off you at that point, and you're just feeling like you should be doing depressed novels.
How dare you?
Just novels about depression all day. So I gotta believe that Aletta just has her freaking giant axe and is just attacking life at full force, knocking out covers. So good on you, Aletta.
Go look at her website too. So go look at some of her original art.
There's good stuff on there.
Yeah, there is really good stuff on there. She is more than just this.
Yes, she's more than a phoenix. I realize you have crafted covers for all genres, but how did you get into the romance novel biz? Was it a way to make some money, a way to get a foot in the door, or is it a passion? Do you have any advice for those poor artists starting out?
I started out wanting to work on children's books, but the pay was very low. I had a family to support, and romance covers paid well for a long time. For artists getting started, I would suggest looking into working in the video game industry. It's far bigger than the movie or TV industry, and there's lots of money and opportunity in it.
Yeah, that's good advice.
There are many aspects to it as well, from environments to characters to vehicles to weapons, to name a few. There's something for everyone.
Holy crap. So this is a big one to unpack. First of all, now we have two things, and this is what the world of covers is giving us, folks. And as we talked about with Josh and Shane, the real thing about the covers and art is that it's about the people. It really is about the people and the art they create, because the art is part of them. She's supporting a family, and she's doing this stuff, and she's making $100 maybe a piece. She's got 2 axes of life, okay? Because, man, she's got a lot on the line. And so she's working her ass off getting this stuff done, which is really cool, and it's really telling. And it's probably partially why this cover is even, as good as it is because she needs to have that step up. She needs to give a little bit of a shit because she's got some stuff on the line, which is really cool. And obviously she does care about the art. She's got, a background for it and a passion for it. Part 2, great advice.
Great
I didn't even
advice.
think about that, but all of you out there in the art industry or trying to get a foot in the door, you don't think about how much work goes into video games. It's just like a movie. There's massive amounts of post-production and pre-production.
More so.
Yeah, you have some guy sitting in there painting grass.
Yeah. So
That's what
check
he
it
does.
out. I just pulled up, I don't know this website, myboosting.com, but I had heard this before, that if you look, so they've got a graph here of 2016 global revenues for video games. It is 100 billion, whereas the film industry was doing 49 billion, and then the music industry was just doing 16 billion. An update for 2020, the game industry is roughly worth 150 billion. It surpasses the film and movie industry by 3 or 4 times. And the music industry is only at 57 billion. That's really good advice, and especially now during times with COVID.
Oh yeah, jump on it.
Yeah.
Paint those axes. You might want to do book art, but in truth, just like Aletta, I'm sure she needed money. She wanted to do art. She wanted to support her family, and so she started doing romance novels. I mean, now she probably does all sorts of stuff. But you got to go if you want to pursue your passion. Sometimes you got to take the road you don't know.
Yeah.
Or be prepared to live out of your van and just drink Chet Moyers for a year, because it's going to take a while to get your footing in the door.
And that's a spicy sauce.
That's going to be a spicy
sauce.
Yeah.
You don't want to drink too much Chet Moyers.
Yeah, listen, we all got to do what we got to do. I mean, I still am doing hand-drawn chalkboards for restaurants and stuff like that. You got to get what you can get, and there's no shame in it. But
no, at all. And so going back to what we were talking about with Christian McGrath, This episode and listening to Alita's responses, because she was so gracious, and I have to say really quickly, this episode was supposed to be last year, folks.
Yeah.
This episode was supposed to be last year, but COVID hit, and I wanted to present the interview in person, and it was just, it took us forever to realize we were not going to be back in the bookhouse.
Right, and to figure out this whole distance thing. And Christian McGrath was the artist who did the artwork for the Dresden File books.
Yeah, Aletta, if you're listening, thank you so much for hanging in there. Yeah, and thank you for waiting us out here. But I never really expected this to be an art critique show, but it is, because that's kind of what we're doing is we're looking at art, and we can't help but put our own spin on it. But it reveals a lot of your bias, and part of when you look at things is trying to look past that and see what's behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
so many things that aren't the artist shape the art. The pay, the employer, the material. Exactly.
Yeah, it's important to look behind because you can overlook the truth behind what covers are, which is representation of people making art in their own image, and everyone does that in their own way. So super cool, super appreciative. More Than a Phoenix is a sexy cover. I want Dante to fly me over those burning buildings and take me to a magical love palace in a soft nest on top of a mountain. That would just be wonderful.
Yeah. Get this for your Meemaw.
Get this for your Meemaw for sure.
Yeah.
Your Meemaw already has all 6 trilogies.
I tell you what, my grandmother read romance novels all day long. Like, she could care less about the TV. She always had her nose in a romance novel. And the covers looked just like this. A lot of them were pretty well done, hand-painted jobs. But, yeah, she was all about the romance novels. She would devour them.
Meemaw getting steaming.
I know.
And speaking of, before we go to a special announcement, folks, it wouldn't be right to not have a little reading of More Than a Phoenix. So we're going to get Chaz Watkins in here to do a little reading. So Chaz, if you don't mind coming in here and doing that, that'd be great. So stay tuned, folks.
Dante unlocked the door and held it open for her. She hurried inside and let out a breath of relief. They stood staring at each other for a few seconds. Finally, Mallory let go of the blanket and it dropped to the floor. Her lower body was as shapely as he had imagined. However, he hadn't dreamed the area at the apex of her thighs would be shaved into a heart. He swept her hair behind her ear so he could see her face. She was smiling. There was a soft glow in her eyes. Yep, she means it. He cupped her cheek and kissed her soundly. She responded immediately, opening her mouth and seeking his tongue. Their kisses deepened, and Dante's skin heated. Mallory Summers could drive him to the point of spontaneous combustion. He walked her backward to the bed, and they both tumbled onto it. Without a word, they resumed the kiss to end all kisses. At least in Dante's experience, she writhed beneath him, and he tried to ease her off, but she stopped him. Are you uncomfortable? Holding his hip, she said breathlessly, I like you where you are. He smiled, knowing what she needed. He rocked against her core, creating erotic friction. Oh God, she arched him into a moan. Without breaking his rhythm, he kissed her cheek, jaw, and neck. She was so sensitive and responsive. He suspected she was close to climaxing. And if that were the case, he'd keep going until she came apart in his arms.
Thank you, Chaz. Thank you, Chaz Watkins, everybody, for that beautiful...
Good job,
yeah, thanks, Randy Newman. Randy Newman, that was great.
Chaz Watkins was Randy Newman's understudy, it turns out. So there's a lot of great vocal readers out there. And as you can see, More Than a Phoenix is more than just a story. It's an immersive experience, folks. It's an experience. So go out there, stare at the cover, look at that smirk, getting ready to show you his giant hanging dong.
Stately hard-on.
Stately hard-on.
And just know if you spend your money on this book, you'll eventually just find it in the very lower.
No,
seventh
Alita's got to
level-
eat. Buy this
The
book.
lowest 7th level of secondhand store-ness down
That's
there where
right.
the book purgatory. It'll be there.
Yeah, or just on the toilet in case you need something to help the beef slide out.
Some
Anyway.
toilet paper.
Thank you again, Aletta, for providing us that, and thank you more than a phoenix for bringing me in and just changing my mind, helping me to be more open, folks, because that's what this show is all about: learning about covers, learning about the artists, and getting the details. Moving on, we have a special announcement. What I didn't talk about in the intro, folks, is that for our Patreon listeners, we have a special reading, speaking of erotic readings, of Hot Slots. Hot Slots is a new erotic novel by Believeman Clum and late-night personality Don LaBeef, folks.
Don LaBeef. I
Yeah,
met
yeah.
Don LaBeef once.
You met Don LaBeef, no way.
Really?
I
No
met
shit.
Don LaBeef. He was just coming out of Tangs.
The legend.
Oh, yeah.
I shook his hand. It was very wet. It was very wet.
like
I think it was
clammy
Jimmy-
wet or
It was.
Was it ball sweat?
It was clammy. There's probably some shaft sweat. I washed my hand afterwards. He sort
How
of
dare
grunted
you.
and nodded at me. There was no eye contact. That was kind of strange. And then he
Don
sort
LaBeef.
of walked towards Pappy's Vidges. I think he was wanting to rent a video or
yeah,
something.
one
Oh,
of
see,
the
he had his
few
eye on-
holdouts from the
Yep.
video rental days.
He had his eye on the Milk Valley select erotic
Yep.
section,
Yep.
which is...
Well, no. If he wanted that, he would have had to have gone to Sparky's Sleaze Emporium. Pappy's doesn't
Oh.
have.
Yeah,
Pappy's doesn't have
Pappy's
a
is
porn section.
Family place.
Pappy's doesn't have a...
Family
They don't
place.
have a... They don't have a... where they have the little black borders around the box?
No.
Oh,
That's just,
okay.
There's clean fun. Good, clean family fun.
Well, that's
there.
exciting, folks. The Brengineer has met late-night personality Don LaBeef.
Wow.
And he has done a reading
saw-
of Hot Slots, which is a tale of passion, love, betrayal, horror, humor, adventure, political intrigue, and steamy lovin' in a VHS store.
And yes, videotapes.
And videotapes.
Are in there too, importantly.
Yes. And so if you
Importantly
are a
featured.
Patreon member, listen to that now if you haven't. It is a beautiful piece. Hopefully we'll get the full novel at some point. But you out there, cover junkies, if you want access to this reading, all you have to do is
Yes.
become a cover cultist. It's $2. It's the cost of a single 3-pack of pistachio-flavored condoms
That's
at your
right.
local gas station.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's 1 pack. That's it. And you could have your own reading of Don LaBeef in your ears. So,
That's right.
yes.
You want
And
it.
an
You
episode
need
every
it.
month, which they have been a lot of fun. They're very juicy, and we get a little bit loose out on there on the Patreon.
Oh, yeah, we like to get a little crazy.
They like
out
to
there.
let go there. We get a little beef ourselves.
A little LaBeefy. Anyway, folks, I'm going to turn it over to Inks to continue our hotathon, our bagathon.
All right, folks. So I titled our little slide here hot water. Hot water for a reason. So when we originally decided to do romance covers, romance novels, we just wanted to show you that the cover boys, we are lovers as well as fighters.
We're diverse. That's right.
I didn't know what to do, and finally my wife got to watch this movie that I forgot was a great little Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon movie. You know what I'm talking about? One of those ones that just shows up on TV, you're folding laundry, you put it on, and you watch it all the way through. I am, of course, talking about the movie Splash.
Yes. From hot phoenixes to hot mer people.
Yes,
I
we got a
love this.
theme. We got mythical loving creatures here. And right now, this first slide I pulled up was the VHS cover that I found. And Tapes, why don't you go ahead and describe this lovely little
Oh
setup.
man, this looks like the cover of a sitcom. First of all, you got Daryl Hannah, very spicy. Sadly, without her awesome android makeup, that's okay. We'll take it. She's still babe, and she's wearing she's got the boyfriend shirt on, presumably with nothing else, very hot, spicy.
Ooh.
You've got Tom Hanks behind her with his arms wrapped around her, looking at you as if to say, "This is mine. This is mine. Don't you dare. Don't you dare."
Oh, come
wagging
on.
his finger at
Come
you.
on, you don't know this
He's
is
got
mine.
that-
Yeah.
He's got the I dare you.
Yeah,
I dare you to come over
he
here
does.
and-
And he is-
I got the feeling he's like, you have no idea what she does when she's not wearing this boyfriend shirt.
Yeah, and Daryl Hannah is feeling that he's being too possessive. So right now, she's reaching behind and grabbing a handful of his hair, getting
Look at her
ready to
biceps,
freaking
though.
jiu-jitsu him over
Yeah.
her shoulder and slap
Easily.
him in the face with her tail.
Swear muscles.
And we got the big old splash logo with some
Yeah.
water splurting off the side.
Awful
I love that logo.
Oh,
it's
dude.
the best
It's
part
the
about this
worst.
cover.
It's a horror. This looks
It's
like the name
great.
of a kid's. It's like a kid's baseball league. That's what it looks like.
The top of
It's got a
each
tail.
word looks like the tip of a penis.
Yes.
Straight up.
So
Well,
whoever
this
did
is-
this
I
kids
did not
baseball
notice
league
that.
is getting fired for sure.
I hope that's water coming off of that.
I hope that's water.
This is the
Exactly.
emoji that people put in their like text when they're trying to make a squirt. That's what those drops are right there. But it's got that hot blue that blue turquoise clamshell.
Yeah, it's not even that
sort
hot,
of
actually. It's kind of muted.
color.
It's like baseball. It's like, Dolphins, jersey color. Well, folks, Splash is a special movie. It's a special movie. It's a good movie, in my opinion. It's almost two movies.
It's a great
in its own
movie.
right.
It's super fun.
You've got the whole courtship thing going on, and then the movie becomes something different whenever Daryl Hannah is revealed to be a mermaid to the public, and it turns into this whole like this sci-fi kind of rescue mission. But
And Tom Hanks is spending the whole movie wondering if he should do her as a fish, and if that's an okay thing
he's
to
kind
do.
of a brat in the movie.
He
If you're
is.
curious as to how that works, doing a
Okay.
mermaid, you simply must watch the film The Lighthouse, which features Robert Pattinson.
You're gonna spill your beans after you watch that one.
And that is the only film I'm aware of that has a man mermaid
This is
love
marine sex ed. Yeah.
yes.
I was hot. I was hot. Now I'm cooling off with all this water.
You'll know everything
I'll
there
know.
is to know about mermaids in that
From
very
that movie.
special and excellent film.
I gotta go. I need to watch something.
Well, this was the first movie produced by Touchstone, which was a subsidiary of Disney, and they were
Correct.
wanting to produce more adult films without it being under the Disney moniker, which was associated with family fun time animation, of course. Now, I've got to believe that the reason, like one of the things that I noticed about researching for this cover is it's got a ton of different posters and covers. So if you click to the next slide, you're going to see just some of the covers.
Oh,
Some
what
of the
is this?
posters.
Splash in hell? Is this like the world has ended because the mer people have finally arrived? Look at the
Which
red
one are you looking at?
background. Look at this.
The one with
look
the
at
red
this
sky,
horrible
the crimson,
statue.
the crimson blood sky with the darkened city behind.
So that's
This
a kind
is
of a variation.
slasher movie cover.
It's a splash in hell.
Yeah, they survived.
But
with
still
her
with
help.
the squirty porn logo.
Yeah, I'm telling you, right there. So we got the Splash logo, and this is going to be the linking element between all of these. That Splash logo is going to show up over and over again. The one I kind of like, actually. Now maybe I'm rethinking it. Now that
You
the
like
boys
squirty
have
neon
described
porn
it as
cover?
a squirty porn.
This is Don LaBeef just mouth breathing
Hey,
over the whole
come see
thing.
me
This is
in
what he went to
Splashed.
rent.
Yeah. So the cover they're talking about, it looks like the VHS cover a little bit, but it is more, the sky's more blood red, and they are standing in the fountain that she buys for him and puts in his apartment with the mermaid to kind of hint like, hey, this movie might be about mermaids. But this
What?
is a hamburger taco lasagna. It's got too much going on. The next one is Tom Hanks.
Real quick, folks. A cool thing about this poster too.
Yeah.
This picture is an original poster because it's got the folds.
It's got the creases. Yeah.
It's got the creases.
Yeah.
If you find a poster and you're like, "What's up with all these fucking creases?" You've got something good because
They
didn't start rolling posters until later. So original posters are always folded.
Because they would put it in the film canister when they would give it to the movie theaters. You would open up the film canister with the film inside, and there would be the poster folded up. Yeah, again,
right,
you guys got to watch that documentary, 24 by 36. Apparently, it's on YouTube for free. But it's a great history about posters, and it's very adjacent to the stuff that we talk about. Because a lot of times, these posters become the cover art. And so the next one is Daryl Hannah draped around Tom Hanks in his tuxedo, always in his tuxedo, and she's wearing her seagrass outfit. That
This time she is the seductress, and Tom Hanks is just like, hi.
Her
Her leg is covering his trunk.
I was
he's
just going
just-
to the hot dog stand, and suddenly this beautiful naked seagrass woman.
She is holding him up.
You are giving me a stiffy.
Oh, come on. Seagrass. She's taking his
There's
wallet.
no boners in Disney.
Yeah.
Look how awkward his hand looks. So he's got one hand in his pocket, and the other is making this awkward,
I don't know
weird
what he's
fist.
holding, like a locket.
Yeah, what is he doing
that?
with his hand down there?
The other one.
I mean, is he?
The other one we've
I
got
kinda-
Daryl.
Never mind.
I kind of love this though. I love this because, you know what? If this actually happened in real life, you would be feeling a little bit awkward. You'd be like, honey,
easily.
I don't know who this is,
She makes
but
me
I feel
feel
bad
kinda
pushing
funny."
her away.
I like the seagrass. You smell weird.
You smell like the ocean.
Don LaBeef wouldn't even think twice. He's like, I don't care. I don't care about the smell.
I like the brine.
The next one here, I kind of like if it wasn't for this stupid picture in the corner that of them kissing to like show you that it's a romance movie. It's just Daryl Hannah in her costume, her mermaid
For some
costume.
reason, this is nightmare fuel.
You think so?
like,
What does it make you think of, Brengineer?
Okay, first of all,
What do you think
it looks
of
like
here?
the lower half of her body isn't a fish, but like her she's horribly burned. Like an atomic bomb went off, and she's like suffering with flash burns.
Well, it took so long for
Which
them
is clearly
to take
why she's
that.
twirling her hair.
Well, it took
she's
so
got
long for them to
insane
take
from
that
the pain.
fin off
Okay,
that she would actually eat lunch in that suit. It was
that's
very hard
right.
for them to get off, and so she had to like they would jokingly like throw French fries at her in the swimming pool, which seems kind of cruel, but I guess they had fun. But yeah, and if we click down,
Dicks.
I know. So I researched this poster again, and season 2, the cover boys have grown. We've gotten better at our craft, and we can find a lot of these uncredited poster artists
That's right.
now.
We're more than decoders.
And if we click to the next slide, you're going to see two more posters. And
Oh, dude.
And the man
Did
who
Gimli
created
design
them.
these? Did Gimli here design these? Look
Yeah.
at him. He spends all his time looking at gems and making sure they're of value.
except he just guessed what Daryl Hannah looks like because none of these paintings look like Daryl Hannah at all.
They're close-ish. But
Daryl-
her
Daryl
face
who?
is very
Daryl
similar
who?
to Tom's.
Also, going with Brenginier's theory, everyone looks like they put like way too much suntan lotion on and is just massively burned.
Oh, they got sprayed.
Everyone's just burned.
Yeah, they look like fucking candied yams. They're just like way too orange.
Yeah. So this series of posters, there's a couple of them. Again, Touchstone really or Disney really went hard and tried to get the poster right because there's several versions of it out there. This is a little bit freaky for me because it's Daryl Hannah, full fish girl outfit, and she's sitting on a hook. And in this one, she looks halfway
Flirting with
presentable.
danger.
But in some of the other versions of this, she looks really sad. And to think that and check out the caption here. It'll touch you. It'll make you laugh, but you may never eat fish again. You sick
Dude,
fuck.
all
I
right,
had
read
to
that
go.
in a different voice, though.
Yeah.
It will touch you. It will make you laugh. And you will never eat fish again.
Yeah.
And then
This
there's
could
another
eat-
tagline. There's another tagline. A wet, warm, wonderful comedy.
Selling it hard.
Splash.
Well, the uncredited creator of maybe some of these posters, I don't really know because he's uncredited, but definitely he created that that glorious logo, that glorious porn logo. This would be Bill Gold, uncredited designer
Bill
of
Gold.
the Splash.
He's even got a
poster
dwarf
or
name.
posters.
Yep. I'm Middle Gold.
I am mining for poster money.
You have my pencil. Yeah,
Daryl Hannah's not nearly gold enough.
I implore you folks to go check out his Wikipedia and more specifically his poster list. It goes on forever. There are so many posters that he created.
Yes.
Most of the time uncredited. And Bill Gold, he was born in Brooklyn. He lived from January 3rd, 1921 to May 20th, 2018. So he was pretty old. I think he was like 97 years old.
Oh, man. We just connected the tips. More
Yeah.
Than a Phoenix came out in 2018.
Oh, yeah, brother. There we go.
That was his death cover.
Yeah.
Bumping tips.
We celebrate him with that
Bringing
cover.
together Brooklyn and Boston in there. Bill Gold, he earned an advertising and illustrating degree from the Pratt Institute in New York. He got that on scholarship. And
That's hot. That's hot.
Then in 1942, he joined the Warner Bros. Art department. But then he was drafted in World War II to the Army. So he, while he was in the military, he produced the aircraft training films. And when he was discharged later in 1946, in 1947, he became head of poster design there at Warner Bros. And that's when things really started to take off. Now, he did some posters before the war, but when he got back and became head of the department, then his
he was taking down
portfolio
posters
got
like Nazis in the sky.
prolific. Yeah, his body count was like Don LaBeef's on a Saturday night. Okay,
Tangs.
at Tangs, and I just want to scroll down. I just want to go to the next.
What? Bill Gold.
Here he is
What a
studying about the role
he reading a book of
being
himself?
a mermaid. He's getting into the the mood. He's getting into his subject right here. But one of the things I want to point out is
Why does he have a chain around his neck?
because
And why is he wearing a bike helmet?
because
Is there like a woman with like a whip and like one of those like biker caps? Like
Yeah.
off
Absolutely.
Screen?
let him
Like,
live
ready
his
to
life.
Lash him.
He was in the war. Well, he did training videos for the war. All right. He knows what it takes. But one of the things, I've got another poster here for Baby Doll, and one of the things I want to point out is the type, which, you know, I was going to bring up with the splash type. It seems to kind of be his thing, is the use of type in the poster. Sometimes you just see the artwork and then you see some sort of type added later. But a lot of times his type is integrated into
He's got
the
it in
artwork.
there.
Yeah. If we click to the next slide, you're going to see a big old smattering buffet of some of his best-known posters. We don't have to talk about all of them, but I just want you folks
No,
out there
we
to
should
get a feel.
save some of these, but holy crap, dude. Some of these are
Let me
iconic.
just say this: the Deliverance one is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Are you serious?
So, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Deliverance. I was scarred by that movie as a kid, not
Yeah,
knowing what it was.
That eye should probably be a butthole.
So, what you have
It'd be
in
like
this
a brown
picture-
eye.
We're sensitive boys here.
What you have in this picture is a big old eye,
Yeah.
an eyeball. It's an older eyeball. It's very wrinkly, and three guys in a canoe are paddling out of the iris. It's the most
great.
absurd, ridiculous-looking thing I've ever
It's so
seen.
off-putting. It's great.
I hate it so much.
Yeah, it's just
so
like the movie.
terrible.
Well, one of the
in
ones
case
that
any
I
of
want
you
to bring up.
are wondering, Deliverance is not a romance film. Just so you know.
No. Yeah, we've gone
It's
into...
also not really an adventure film, or it is for the first half.
Well, neither is The Exorcist, but it's one of the more effective covers up here. And again,
it's so good. That's the best one.
Very well-designed type, very sensibly done, and done in a way that it becomes its own little character on the poster, kind of like Splash.
Oh, it's so effective. And then Clockwork Orange,
Yeah,
we
that's
have up
another
here,
one.
is another absolute classic composition
Yeah.
and poster with
And type.
And it's all there. So cool.
Yeah.
So many.
Plus, such a
classics here.
great use of negative space. Is it still negative space if it's white? Still counts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, such a great use of negative space on that Clockwork Orange. Plus, it's like the logo, it's white on white with just a black border. So it's such a cool cover. It's so effective.
Yeah, and again, we talked about on the Patreon. We talked about one of the poster artists that we found, and his kind of gift was this composition gift. And I feel like Bill Gold's here is definitely composition, but even more making the type kind of fit the poster. That the type isn't just the same type over and over again. Like Dial M for Murder, it's half the poster. It's a character in its own right, and the M is kind of done in this different font, and it's red, and it's kind of cool. So something to definitely look at and pay attention to. And I could see how the Splash logo got made, whether you like it or you love it or hate it.
Well, I will say none of these logos on these posters look like penises.
No.
So
No.
there's that.
Well,
There's that.
Well, none of
Yeah,
these
something to think about.
are romance films, if you notice. Well, maybe this one.
Well,
with
You
Marilyn
remember
Monroe.
back in season 1, we talked about when you're doing your painting, eventually boning is going to come into your mind. It's just
Yeah.
going to happen. And
Listen,
so Bill
those
Gold's
nights
sitting
get
there
long.
thinking about Daryl Hannah and, thinking about Tom Hanks and what they're going to be doing on set.
Yeah.
And of course, there's going to be some splashes on his Splash logo. Cedric Silk is in his ear holes. Don
Yeah.
LaBeef is in his other ear hole. And he's going to have some water spurts coming off the Splash logo.
Splash kind of was a unique film. This boy meets a girl, meets fish girl, and falls in love. And
The ending is horrifying.
I love the ending.
It is a terrifying end.
He leaves everything. He leaves his brother, John Candy.
He literally gets gills and starts to swim towards the bottom of the ocean to a magical kingdom.
Yeah.
But it is not a magical kingdom, folks. It's a lie.
Cthulhu's down there.
It's a lie.
He's going down the roulette to live forever with the dreaming one.
Well, that kind
That's
of
right.
That kind of leads to my next cover, which
Here
is
we
the same
the
formula. It's very
conspiracy.
similar. This
The
is
conspiracy has come full circle. The tips
this
have
is
connected.
2017 Shape of Water by Guillermo del Toro.
Such a great film.
Such
If
a
you haven't
great
seen
film.
this film, folks,
an amazing
just go watch
film.
it. Just an amazing film.
Yes. It is. It's filled with so much Guillermo del Toro. It's filled with so much commentary. It's filled with so much great acting.
Yeah.
It's just filled with so much.
This movie is
You
why
know?
Guillermo del Toro is one of my favorite.
He is
filmmakers.
incredible.
He's never made a poor film. I even love the movie he got kicked off of, which was Mimic.
The Mimic.
The Mimic.
The Mimic, really?
Which
Yeah.
I-
I like
Mimic.
The Mimic. It's a great
Which
concept.
was
but
not his fault.
y'all got to listen to some interviews with Guillermo. I mean, he's a very inspiring person to talk to. Like, one of my favorite Guillermo quotes is when he's like, someone asked him, I think it was Kevin Smith, was like, do you like what you do? Is this something that really gets you, excited every day, or is it something that you just go to work for? And he goes, well, Kevin, as they say, you cannot fuck without a boner. Okay? So that was his answer. He loves his work, and you can tell. Now, why don't
And
you
he
guys...
has
And
two
Shape
houses.
of Water. That's true.
He's got one house that he lives in, and I have a book about his other house. He literally has a book that came out, and his entire house is a curio cabinet, and it's
Yes,
dedicated.
it's amazing.
It's dedicated to. It's like his studio. It's where he
Yeah.
goes to write and draw and work on films, and it's so cool. It's just filled with paraphernalia and books, and there's secret passages, and he even had like a window
Weird
built.
statues.
Yeah, he had a window installed that looks like it's always storming outside.
Oh shit! Really?
So cool.
Yeah.
I flipped through this book and I get so envious. I want his house.
He's kind of in that same vein as the Vincent Price, one of those people that we want to emulate and be like.
So Shape of Water is definitely a romance film, but it is done Guillermo style.
Well,
for
and
sure.
he does the Tapesian thing where he puts that extra 11, 12, 13, 14 on the amp and just jacks it all the way up.
Yeah, but Guillermo is tasteful. Tapes is not tasteful. if this was a tapes film, everything would be covered in a little bit of grease and bacon.
Well, here's the thing.
And it would have Lou Diamond
go to
Phillips in there.
14, Guillermo will find a way.
Why is Lou Diamond Phillips in your movie? Why? Why is it? Why is it with you? Why is it always Christopher Lambert and Lou Diamond Phillips? Like, why?
Lou Diamond Phillips is great.
Can you think of anything more romantic than those two together in a movie? Come on. Yes. Come on, dude.
Lou Diamond Phillips.
With Mia Farrow. There we go.
Dude.
That's my cast. Love triangle.
Name your kids
okay,
after Jules.
Brengineer, what have you got with this poster?
What you got here is a blue palette, right? Mostly blue palette. And
Love blue.
You've got
blue.
you've got the fish creature, and you've got
Fish
the woman,
man.
and they're in an embrace, and she's wearing a red dress, the only red in the image, and they're underwater, and there's a shaft of light shining through the water.
Shaft.
A shaft. And
Sexy.
It's illuminating them, and what I think is really cool is there's one of her red shoes has fallen off and is floating down through the water. It's a great image.
Yeah,
Tasteful.
and then there's scales.
Tasteful.
Kind of in the background. You can see the scales that are like.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, I think that's like the wallpaper on the movie theater she lives in, or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of a cool atmosphere element, and I think this is a very well done piece of digital artwork. This is very well done piece of digital artwork. It's almost a painting. It's in its own right.
Yeah, it is a shot from the film.
Yes.
But they clearly it's composed very nicely.
Right.
What's more important is that this movie is the prequel to Splash. This movie is the prequel to Splash, folks. Guillermo del Toro loved Splash. He loves that movie.
Is that confirmed?
And he's never said that to anybody, but he loves that movie, and he's always loved it. And he said, you know what, I'm going to make this movie Guillermo del Toro style. I'm going to make prequel. And so what he did is he
Why
made
is
this...
Guillermo Russian all of a sudden?
He made the story of Tom Hanks's parents. So this movie takes place...
not Daryl's parents?
No, not Daryl's parents. So here's what happens, folks. This is how it all ties together. Are you ready for the conspiracy? You have these two that meet up, right? You've got, I forget the characters' names. You got Fish Guy, you've got Deaf Girl. They meet up. She explores his gooey duck. She falls in love with him. It's an uncircumcised gooey duck for sure.
His swim bladder. Oh, shit.
Notice that these two movies have the same ending. They both end with them going into the water then swimming down into the terrifying depths to Roulier. So he takes her with him, and she's like been duped because she's like, oh, I've got magical fairy fish man with a giant trunk, but she doesn't realize that she's actually being taken down to live with all these crusty old deep fish creatures.
Oh, so this is a
There's
bad
Another
thing.
film. There's another film that ends
No,
this
we
way.
gotta finish. They pour. She gets pregnant, and what do we know? They give their children back up. They go back up, they give birth. Tom Hanks is the baby that they have. So this is the 60s. What's 20 years later? What's 20 years later?
The 80s. 1984.
80s.
That was...
And that's when it came out. So we have Tom Hanks, who doesn't know he's a fishoid, And who comes to claim him, folks? Who comes to claim Tom Hanks? Daryl Hannah, who is clearly a deep one, and it
Why
ends
didn't
in
she
the
look
same
like
way.
that, though?
Because you know what? If you climb onto the ocean looking like, come bone me and live in the ocean, you know, she's got to be hot. She's got to be sexy. She puts on the deep one magic. She seduces him into the ocean, and then he goes down there to meet his parents and live in with all the crusty deep ones. Guillermo del Toro prequel.
So is the third film in this series Stuart Gordon's Dagon? Where at the end of the film, the hero dives into the water with his new gills to go live with the creepy mer woman down in that deep sea tunnel that gave me nightmares.
Dude, they all they all end the same.
That was his great.
Folks, and just so you know, we've tied everything back to episode 1. Everything eventually loops back to the mythos in this style. It can be romantic too. Cthulhu can be romantic. There you go. Tentacles, gooey ducks,
tentacles.
love it all.
Yeah. This year for Valentine's, give your loved one tentacles. That's right. Well, I will say there's another relation to Lovecraftian mythos. In that, it's kind of a stretch, but in that this poster was not Guillermo's original vision for the poster. His original vision for the poster is the final slide. This is
dude, Fables? Yes.
Why wouldn't that be the cover? Look at that.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Because Hollywood. The same thing happened to him. This is in the 24x36 doco.
Hellboy.
He did that with Hellboy. He got Drew Struzan, the master
folks.
of faces, Drew Struzan, to do a fantastic hand-painted Hellboy poster. It was great, and he was like, this is going to be it. And he tells Drew like, this is going to be the poster for the film, and Drew goes, I'm sorry, Guillermo, you have no idea how Hollywood works. And it did not. It did not become the poster for the film. The execs got in the way, or the studio got in the way. Something changed, and the same thing happened here. Now,
Stupid.
Yeah, this is a beautiful piece of art. This is a beautiful drawing, probably in pencil, because the original you can see on the artist's website. James
It did
Jean.
make it into the film, though, right?
I think it did get into the film.
Yeah,
I think it got into the film.
Yeah, one of the characters is doing this art piece.
Guillermo
At the
will
very
find a
end,
way.
You see it, yeah.
Yeah, Guillermo will find a
that's
way.
right.
He'll find a way to use that artwork. And James Jean did this piece. Now, James Jean is the reason why Guillermo sought him out is because he does a lot of the covers for Fables. Now, Fables is a graphic novel series. It's fantastic. There are so many out there.
Such an incredible graphic novel, folks.
Their covers are just these testaments to what a cover should be. They're imaginative. They don't give everything away, and they are brain fuel. And here's James Jean.
Yeah.
He was born in Taiwan, 1979. He went to the School of Visual Arts in New York. Got a BFA, Bachelor of Fine Arts, I believe. Guillermo found him because of his work on Fables, but you go to his website, which is kind of a frustrating website. It's one of those super beautiful, great websites that's just really well done, but it's almost impossible to navigate. But eventually you can get to his awards, and you will see best cover award over and over again, which I didn't know that there was awards for covers. We may have to do a cover to cover award show.
Ooh, best
at
cover.
some point. So, but yeah, James Jean did this
his
beautiful
art is
piece
so
of artwork.
cool.
It is fantastic. You guys got to check it out. But it did make it into the film because Guillermo finds a way.
That's right. Wow, incredible. Folks, it just goes to show, whether you're banging a phoenix or you're banging a fish, it all makes good art.
Yeah, this just happened. We came together and we said, we got to do romance novels. We got to show our sensitive side, that we're lovers. We got to do something for the ladies.
No, we
And
didn't want to be sensitive at all. We just wanted to read dirty passages from romance books. I had no shame sitting in the library
You caught us.
reading grip member after grip member.
Yeah, we went to our own shelf. We pulled Phoenix. we pulled our Phoenix trilogy off the shelf and brought it to you guys.
That's right.
Thank you all again for being a part of this journey as we uncover the mystery behind these awesome covers.
Oh, yeah.
Our website is coverdecoder.com. If you have any questions, comments, or covers for us, please send us the covers.
Yeah.
We were sent an awesome Ozzy Osbourne cover.
Yes.
It was such a
Strider.
blast.
Boy.
Thank you, Strider, again.
Yeah.
Be like Strider. Send us the covers. Send them to coverdecoder@gmail.com, and we will review them and talk about them.
Yeah.
Also, check us out on Instagram at coverdecoder. Please like, review, and follow us on whatever platform you're listening to. It helps us a ton. We also have a Patreon.
Oh, it's great.
For just $2, you can get the secret knowledge.
Pistachio
Secret
condoms.
knowledge.
You are handed the key to the secret, the secret cover kingdom.
Don LaBeef can be yours.
Yeah. The
Don
cover cult is
LaBeef.
growing.
Can be yours.
We are amongst friends when you're there, and we do some special episodes for folks on there. We got all kinds of special things.
Exactly. And remember, folks, when you look at a cover, the cover looks at you.
Oh, baby.